Okay, this is going to be a video on how to do a drain and fill on the transmission fluid for an '05 Toyota Sequoia. I know it also works for the '03. This is the type of transmission that does not have a dipstick. This procedure is out of the service manual on DI 524. Basically, you start off with a special service tool, which I just made out of a piece of wire. This is just used to jump between pin 4 and 13 on the OBD2 port, which is located underneath the dashboard right above the gas pedal. 4 places on the top and 5 on the bottom. And then you put your jumper between those 2 pins. Once you have it jumpered, you go ahead and start the car. You'll notice the dash lights are flashing, a lot of them. Set your part. So now what we're doing is getting into the temperature sensing mode to see if the transmission temperature is the right temperature in order to check the level. Rotate it through all of the gears. Then you come down to neutral, and you go neutral to drive until the AT temp light comes on. You'll see it right there by my fuel gauge. See it come on? Go up into park, pull the jumper pin out, and now we have to wait until the light comes back on. What we're looking for, if the light is off, then that means it's not hot enough. If it's on, that's the right temperature to check it. If it's blinking, it's too hot to check it. Okay, what you're going to need is a 5mm Allen to take out the plug that you check the fluid level, a 14mm socket to take out the drain plug, and a 24mm socket to take out the plug where you fill the fluid. So I'm going to drive it around for just a little bit to get the temperature up. If you don't, you can let it sit in idle to get the temperature up, but last time I did that I had to idle for about 35 minutes. So I'm just going to drive it around slowly for a little while, maybe about 5 minutes, and then I'll check the temperature again and see if it's up to the right temperature. You just don't want to get it too hot. Okay, so now what you want to do is drain the fluid, and on your transmission pan you got this plug, which is to drain it. This one here is where you check it. So with the engine off, go ahead and drain the fluid out. Okay. So once you pull the drain plug, let everything drain out of here. You can go ahead and pull this plug here. This is where you check the fluid. And right now, just go ahead and have it out, which is fine. By the way, if you decide to drive the car around or turn it off for any reason, which you're going to have to turn it off to drain it, then it will come out of the temperature detection mode, which is okay. We'll just have to put it back into the temperature detecting mode when we're ready to fill this thing back up. Okay, now I've switched sides. I'm just coming in from the passenger side. Again, there's the tranny pan with your drain plug and your checking plug. Now up here, up higher, is where you actually fill the fluid. It's that big 24mm nut right there. You see it? Okay, that's the one you've got to take out, and then I'll show you what to do. This is the setup I use to fill it. About a 4-foot piece of tubing with a funnel that I stick in the end, and then I feed the end of the tube down the passenger side engine bay. Right there you can see the fill tube going into the side of the transmission, and then that's where you fill it. So at this point everything's drained. That's as much as we need to get out of there. Put the drain plug back in. You should use a new crush washer according to the manual. Put the checking plug back in, but you don't need to go real tight with this, just finger tight for now. So now I'm going to dump 3 quarts of world standard fluid in. The manual says that it takes about 3.5. I start with 3, and then we'll put it back into the temperature checking mode, make sure that the fluid's at the right temperature, and we'll add fluid until it's full. Okay, now we've dumped 3 quarts in there. We're gonna go put it back into the temperature detection mode. Okay, now the light is on solid. Once you get in the temperature mode, you just come right down, remove the checking plug, and since we've only put 3 quarts in, it shouldn't come out. I mean, you might get a little drop. You see there, it's not running out. So what we're gonna do at this point is we're gonna go start dumping fluid into that fill tube until it starts running out of this hole. Once it runs out of this hole, that's how you know that you're full. Okay, so now you can see the fluid is running out of the hole. Engine's running, proper temperature. I dumped about another half a quart in, so that's about right. This took about 3.5 quarts. And that's how you know when it's full. Once it's doing that, it slows down to a pretty steady trickle like that. Then you put the plug in, tighten it up, replace your plug where you fill the fluid, tighten that up, and you're all done.